What's up, guys? Happy Monday. It's November 14th. It's 7:43 a.m. and this is the crypto market update. So it's good to be back. I missed you guys. I was wicked sick. I believe it was I think it started on Wednesday. I stayed up all night the previous night before, and I took too much of like pre-workout or something. So my body literally just kind of got engulfed in hives, and that doesn't happen to me. So definitely scary. I was using like a spoon instead of the scoop that comes in the pre-workout thing. So I definitely did too many scoops there. My whole body was swollen. I had to go to the emergency room, but I slept for 72 hours and kind of shook it off, and now we're back, baby. So now let's jump into the chart, because a lot of things have been happening, and some things like the dollar reversing, bond yields reversing, we predicted, and some things didn't pan out like we expected cryptos to really pump, and due to the dollar turning over and the bond yields turning over. And that would have happened if there wasn't for the black swan event, FTX going insolvent. If that news didn't break at that exact time, we would have pumped up to like 26 to 30,000 for Bitcoin. We would have saw XRP hit the over 60 cent. Like, we were there at the moment, but at that moment when it was time to go, we had that coincidental news break. So we had a flush out. So we kind of did the opposite reverse way. Instead of having a pump to the upside, a fierce pump, we had a fierce dump. And it does look like we're starting to see some signs of a double bottom coming in here to maybe retest back up at this high over here. So let's first dive into the dollar, because if you remember the video we did, I think it was around like 5 or 6 days ago. Let me pull it up. So it was back November 6th. So we're talking like 8 days ago. We said absolutely one of the biggest signals that have flashed this year. This week, if we see follow through on this, then strap the F in. I'll cover this in tomorrow's video. And then I did a follow-up video, which we'll run by after I go through this Discord. And if you're not already in the Discord, link in the bio, join the Discord. We got all these crypto automated signals in here. We have the dollar signals, Bitcoin dominance, get updated with Stargate strategy, buy and sell alerts, automated straight to the Discord in real time. But we're tracking this. So we had said huge signal, and we were basically calling the top of the dollar. It was around like 112 to 114. And we saw the week of, I think it was November 9 to, well, this past week, it play out. We got the sell now. So in this video, it was the 7th. We'll run through kind of what we went over back then when the dollar was up at like 110, 110.5. So let's run through that. And I'm in the camp of believing that. So big signal. We have the stock RSI, bottom of the dollar, and then right back confirmation. But what is really the kicker here is on the 2-week chart, we had the sell now signals for the Stargate strategies. So let me pull that. All right. This is so big, guys. And this is why. And keep in mind, there's 11 days we need to see for confirmation, because the sell now is coming in on this candle. But if this candle, pumps up to 114, it may subvert this sell now. We need to stay where we're at now or lower for this signal in 11 days to be confirmed. But the reason why it is so big is because the 2-week chart with the Stargate signals have called every bottom and top in the dollar for the past 11 years now. Look at 2011, bam, bought the bottom of the dollar. Bam, 2015 sold the top of the dollar, and that was in tandem with the crypto market bottoming. And then bam, 2018 bought the bottom of the dollar. And then right back here, April 2021, bottom of the dollar. And now what we're seeing right now is the potential top of the dollar. So we've been tracking this move to be very similar to this move. And it makes sense because the cryptocurrency market and this bear market has kind of been similar to the one back in 2015. So we have to compare the dollar and its movements back to 2015, because crypto is mimicking what it was doing back in 2015, and everything looks on par. Everything is lining up and very synchronized. So this is one of the biggest signals to flash, but we have to wait for the confirmation in 11 days. So put it on your calendars. and to get updated in real time on the signal, link in the bio, join the Discord. Like, you don't want to miss the signal. It's huge. And you can see that we have this trend line stretching back since January of this year. Bam, support this whole way up. And now we're just sitting on it right now by a thread. So if we can see that follow through that I was talking about for this week, and then ultimately next week, we're going to see this dollar sell now signal be set in stone. It's going to flash, and it's likely that we could say crypto bottom is in. And I'm in the camp of believing that. So that's where we're at November 7th. So let's see a check-in on that. And we're even calling it earlier on TikTok. We're calling the dollar may have just topped. That was back. This was October 26th when the dollar was around like 114.
Has called the dollar.
So let's actually pull up the dollar chart now and see where we're at. All right, so we're going to go out to the 2 week and see an update on this now that we're a couple days ahead now. So we're at below 107 in the dollar. Remember, we're tracking this trend line that stretched all the way back here, as well as we had the signals flash. So let me pull those up. So this is where we're at. We got that vertical yellow sell now. I mean, like, guys, if we're scrolling out here, this is what we were kind of tracking it on. We were saying it was similar to 2015. We're watching that same trend line. We saw the break coinciding with the vertical yellow line. We saw the break coinciding with the vertical yellow line. Now we have 4 days left for this candle. And I mean, like, the momentum is so strong to the downside, it seems likely that this is going to be confirmed. So the synchronization, the similarities are profound. Like, you can see it clear as day right there. So we've had a top here, bottom, bottom, top. And what we can see is, if we go to these bottom indicators, like stock RSI crossing down hard, going through the 50 line. And then we have the TSI with a cross. The last time we crossed up on the TSI, or just crossed in general, was back here March 2021 when we put in our floor on the dollar. And then our last cross down was here in May of 2020, right after the COVID crash, where we bottomed in crypto. So we should have bottomed and got out of here the other day, but because of the Black Swan news event, it plunged the markets down. Everybody's nervous, scared right now. They may be selling, but this is like the perfect time for huge institutional buyers or just big whales to come in and just, like, literally market buy right where we're at, shooting the prices back up, really kind of trapping the sellers at these lows here. So that's what it's looking like. We're seeing the RSI crossing down below through this 80 line. So you can see when we're hanging above the 80 in the RSI, and then once we cross back down, it's usually the top. Just like back here, we got above the 80. And then once we cross down, it was the top. It's coinciding, right? Coinciding. So very, very likely this is the top of the dollar. We're seeing fear coming for the dollar as well too. Yeah. I mean, like, we had a 2% down in one day. That day, when that happened, so if we go to that on the daily chart and we see like the past 3 trading days over here, we can go to the NAS 100 and I'll go to the daily, and you can see, dude, monstrous candle, monstrous. Like, this is what kind of shot the stocks out of this like kind of black hole that was going to happen, got us out of there because the dollar tanked. So you can see the past 3 days trading like up 10%. That's crazy for the stock market. And then if we go to gold, if we go to the daily chart, the past 3 trading days, I mean, you got around like 4 or 5% here, even a couple days back, like 5 days back when the dollar started to roll over, you're talking 10% there for gold. And then for silver, we go to the daily chart, we're talking, am I on the daily? Yeah. So silver actually tanked down. Oh, wait, no, that's not silver. This is XRP. Let me go to silver real quick. So what we saw with silver was past like week of trading here up 15%. And that's because the dollar in the past week of trading here, it went from 113, which we said that was 112 to 113. We had to get rejected by, and then we needed to come down, break through the 786, then ultimately break this trend line. We break that, we're likely going to come to the 1618, which is 107.796. We hit that initially, then we tank down lower, and it's looking like we have momentum to pull down here to 104.13. And then if we break that, we're talking 100 and then 98. And then at that point, it's like, guys, the dollar has tanked like 10%, 13% in over like a week or two. So that would be crazy. But there is a prepare to buy soon signal coming in here, but that doesn't mean the vertical blue line's coming in, which is a buy now. We still have momentum to the downside for the moment. But you can see that we were supposed to go up in cryptos. Everything else went up. The dollar went down. Bond yields went down. The stocks and commodities went up. Cryptos tanked because of the event, unfortunately. But I mean, don't you love it? Like, you can get a second chance to buy extremely cheap. But if you had your funds on FTX, I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. It's just a crazy space, man. Like, if you don't have a ledger, make sure you get one and secure your assets off the other exchanges immediately. But so now let's go to the dollar. We're seeing the momentum shift over here. So on the higher time frames, if we go to the lower time frames and look at today, we're looking at, so we're on the 30-minute chart. We're seeing a slight rollover here. If I go to the 1 hour, because we're going to see a 1 hour candle close soon, we're up here. We're starting to look like we want to curl over. We're in the negative territory, the bearish territory. So for now, the direction is down. For now, the direction is down until we see some more momentum come in on these lower time frames. But the higher time frames are showing that we're rolling over. And even the 15-minute, we're starting to cross now, starting to look like we're going to roll over. If we can break 106.7 and then ultimately 106.5, then it's likely we're going to come back down to test 106. And if we can break that, we're going to start tanking even more. And then maybe this time, cryptos can kind of rise with that. Then we got the bond yields. We're tracking this trend line and we're tracking the 12-hour chart. And what we saw was the EMA ribbon was acting as a good area of support. We broke through it. So now the direction of bond yields are down until proven otherwise. We're getting into this bearish territory. We were tracking this trend line as well too. We broke it. And then the EMA ribbon, we broke it. If we go to the 1-day chart, we are sitting on the 1-day 50 moving average. So ideally, I'd like to see us come down and break 3.77% for more confirmation of that rolling over. Yeah. And then to the upside, we still want to get rejected by that 4.2%. But we are seeing the bearish kind of momentum start to creep in here. Then if we go to a 3-day chart or like a weekly, we can see, let's actually pull up the Stargate indicators on the bond yields because it works on everything. So let's pull that up. All right, we just flashed a sell signal. The last candle we printed for the bond yields, we flashed a sell signal. So last time sell kind of hit the top here. So like when there's big swings, this nails it. So the buy right there. But I want to actually pull up the Stargate strategy signals with the vertical lines. Let's pull that up real quick. All right, there we go. And bam, right there, vertical yellow line, sell now signal on the weekly chart. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. You can see the tops that it hit here, bottoms, top, bottom, top. So like, it's likely that we've now might have seen the top of the bond yields. If we go to like a 10-day chart, let's just kind of see where that's at, or a 3-week. Sorry, let's see. So we have the 3-week sell warnings as far as the bond yields go. We're getting a sell sticker coming right now too. So but there's 18 days left for that. So we can just move on to Bitcoin now because it's 8 a.m. and we want to see kind of how the day is going to unfold here. So we're on the daily chart. We are seeing some double bottom sort of pattern coming in right now. But if I go to the lower time frame, we'll see it better. We're on the 12-hour chart. We just saw this candle close bullish engulfing. We had the body closing above this one. We do have a wick here. So I would like to see us on the short term definitely break above right here. So like 16,900, ultimately 17,000 would be better as far as psychological. So that's where I want to see us get above and hold as support. So this is what I want to see. I want to see us keep this momentum that we have here, which it looks like we have it, come up here, hold as support, and then retest this area here around like 17,500, 17,700, which coincides with, the 17,500 coinciding with this low that we thought was in back here. So this could be just like kind of like a deviation. I mean, like we're not that far away from this bottom over here. If we really go to the top that we set over here in November, and now we're in November now. So like this is matching up as far as time cycles. You can see that we really didn't. So we had our top over here, and then we went a little bit higher and then ultimately changed the trend. And then we could be good as well doing the same thing right now, just in the opposite direction, where we had our low here that we set in June, just like how we had set our high back here around like May, so like close to June. And then we set our little bit higher top in November. And then, so this was in June. And then now we're setting a little bit of a lower low in November again. And maybe we just turn around now. Maybe we turn around and psychs everybody out, the biggest fake out of all time. But yeah, that's on my radar, because what I'm watching too is on, I believe it was the 1 week chart. Look at the volume spikes, right? This is a Coinbase chart. Maybe if I go to the BLX, the all-time index. So on the 10-day chart for Bitcoin, what we're seeing right now is we have the 10-day prepare to buy soons. We haven't gotten the buy now signal yet. And that's because the TSI looked like it was about to cross, but it faked out. And so we haven't even got the 10-day buy now yet. Keep in mind, the 10-day sell now called the top here in 2017, called the bottom in 2019, called the top here in 2021, and now it's close to calling the bottom again in 2022. This could stretch into 2023, who knows? But we're close. We're very close. So it's not the time to be selling, that's for sure. Then we can even just look at on the weekly chart. So if we're looking at the weekly chart and we're looking at the volume profile, right? We can see that this volume spike that we got yesterday on the weekly close, we have not seen a volume spike that high in all of Bitcoin's history on the Coinbase chart. So I'm going to put this horizontal line where it spiked to, and bam, we haven't seen that. But let's look at all the other times where we had high volume spikes. Say like, here's another kind of area where we hit a lot, and we'll label it. So like, here's one right here, nailed the exact top, that volume spike. And let me kind of edit this to make it cleaner. So you can see the volume spike right there. And then now I'll label the next ones right here, nailed the bottom. And then right here again, nailed the top. Right here, COVID crash, nailed the bottom. Right here was kind of like a top. We went a little higher, but this was ultimately a bottom after going higher. We see that. So that was our big sell-off in May. And then we see another volume spike here, our first sell-off in the Luna debacle, and then our second sell-off and final low that we thought back in May of this or June of this year. And then now we're seeing the biggest one of all time right now. So it's very likely that the bottom is either in or very close to being in. I'd say by the end of November, we should have hit the bottom. Because if we're going to keep going lower, I would assume or at least expect for it to happen very quickly here over the next couple of weeks due to the event that happened. I mean, like very extreme. So there may be other fallouts because of that. So we'll have to see. But you can see the volume profiles here. Nails the tops, the bottom, top, bottoms, right? And then plus we're waiting for the 10-day buy now signal for the Stargate strategy. So this is what we're waiting on for that. We're waiting for the vertical blue line, and we're close to getting it by seeing this momentum cross up here in the bottom indicators. So it's looking good as far as the daily, for the higher time frames at least. As far as the daily chart, we're seeing a prepare to buy soon signal. We just need this to cross up, and we'll get the vertical blue buy now signal. On the 12-hour chart, we're seeing the stock RSI trying to poke its head through the 50, gain that momentum. And then we're seeing the MACD curling in, the TSI looking like it wants to cross. So if we can get back above 20,200 or even just like the pink Fibonacci moving average here, which is sitting at 19,000. If we can get back above 19,000 to 19,500, preferably 20,000, then that will be nice, because then we'll likely immediately shoot up to 25K. If we had a sharp move up to here, it's likely that would be a crazy rally, very quick and vicious, because probably people put a lot of shorts in here thinking that we're going to go lower, and then bam, bear trap, and then just shoot it up. So that's what I'm seeing. Let's go to the 8-hour chart. We're seeing the MACD cross green. We're seeing the TSI cross stock RSI as well too. If we go to the 4-hour, we're seeing stock RSI cross up vertical. We're seeing the MACD looking like it was going to cross over, but gain momentum again. Same with the TSI. So it's looking good so far, looking good. I want to see us maintain 16,500. I do not want to see us come back down, revisit these lows again. If we do, we need to hold 16,000 to a T for Bitcoin. Now let's go to Bitcoin dominance and kind of see where that's at. We're sitting around 40.20%. If I go to the 3-day chart, we do see the momentum to the downside right now. 1-week chart crossing down. So momentum for Bitcoin dominance to the downside for the moment, unless we break above 42.5% for the dominance. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Let's go into XRP real quick, and then I'm going to end off this video. Let's see. So XRP sitting around like 35 cents. We're getting a blessing to buy back in lower at these prices. I'm kind of screaming for joy on this one. It's good to see how it had a ton of strength. Now it's pulling back down, and this could be the juice to give it that boost that we needed to get through that critical level up here. So that's what we need to be watching. We see on the 12-hour chart, we have the prepare to buy soon coming in. We're waiting for the vertical blue line to flash for our buy now signal. And then plus we have this trend line coming down like this. You can see that clearly, that it looks like if I go down to the lower time frames, we're getting close to breaking. So now I'm on the 4-hour time frame, and you can see that we've been getting rejected by that trend line ever since back up here. And this candle may be the one to break through, but there's 2 hours and 50 minutes left. If I go to the 2-hour chart, or let me just go to the 1-hour chart. Yeah, so we're above it right now. We did close 1 hour candle above it, but I don't think that's enough. We need to see more. I do want to see us hold where we're at right now, this 50 moving average, and make our way up to retest the 200 moving average over here, which is retesting these highs. If I pull this top to this bottom, that's around 38.5 cents. We want to break above and hold that support. And then to the downside, we definitely need to hold these lows here, obviously, but I don't want to see us go lower than 34 cents. If we do pull back here, I want to see us hold that point. And then we're looking at these momentum indicators down here. If we're looking at the short term, we may be cooling off for a little bit, but as far as like the 4-hour chart, we're just gearing up. And as far as the higher time frames, we're very oversold, and we could just have a spring action moment back up here to retest 40 cents, maybe. So something like this before maybe pulling back down, or we just shoot up here because there's a news catalyst that sends us up. So that's it. That's it for this video, guys. Big macro look. I'm going to do a bonus video going into the specifics of XRP, the charts for it today. I'm going to go over the USD chart, the dominance chart, the Bitcoin pair, the Ethereum pair, and dive into that and see where we're at as far as hitting those big projections that we all are hoping and wishing for. So I'll see you guys in that video. That'll be out later today. I'll be doing a newsletter. And if you haven't already, join the Discord. Link will be in the bio. Get access to the crypto automated signals in there. So join that, say what up. I'll say what up back, and I'll see you guys in the next video.